Hello everyone, this is Vortex259. Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy IV Advance. In our last episode, Cecil, Rydia, and Tella fought and defeated the Octomammoth, clearing the way to Damcyan Castle. Unfortunately, by the time they were about to arrive, the Red Wings flew over the castle and bombed it. Sadly, just about everyone inside the castle was either killed or badly hurt, and one of the victims was Tella's daughter Anna. Tella blamed Anna's boyfriend, the Spoony Bard, for what had happened and immediately started hitting him over the head with his rod. But Anna begged them to stop their quarrel, so Tella immediately rushed by her side. She's now laying on the ground, very badly hurt. Tella says, "Oh, Anna, I'm so glad to see you again." Anna says, "Father, Edward is the Prince of Damcyan. Forgive me, Father, for running away, but I love Edward." "Ah, so the Spoony Bard is actually the Prince of Damcyan. Still, I knew I couldn't find happiness without your consent. I was on my way home when Edward says we were attacked by Baron's Red Wings, led by Golbez. So the Red Wings now have a new leader." Cecil says, "I've never heard of Golbez before. Who is he?" Edward says, "I don't know. All I know is that his powers were beyond words." Cecil says, "But why did they attack Damcyan?" Edward says, "They wanted the crystal, and they spared no one to get it. My mother, my father, even Anna shielded me from their arrows." "Way to be a man, Edward, hiding behind your girlfriend." Tella says, "You love him enough to give up your own life?" Anna says, "Father, forgive me." And Edward says, "I love you." But then tragedy strikes. Anna passes away. Edward says, "Anna!" Tella says, "Anna? Anna!" But it's no use. She has now passed away, and Tella flies into a rage. He says, "Damn you, Golbez! Who is that monster anyway? What do you know about him?" Edward says he came to Baron one day and became the new leader of the Red Wings. He leads them in their mission to plunder the crystals. Tella says, "Stop your simpering. That won't bring Anna back. Golbez of Baron, I shall take his life with my own two hands." And as he starts to leave, Cecil jumps in front of him and says, "Tella, wait. You can't possibly go alone." But Tella just knocks him out of the way and says, "I will kill Golbez on my own. I don't need your help. I don't need anyone's help." And then he storms out of the castle and leaves the party. Oh man, so he's off to avenge his daughter's death. But Edward just sits by Anna's side crying like a baby. But you know what? Rydia has very little sympathy for Edward. She says, "Stop crying. You're a grown-up. You're not supposed to cry. I lost my mom, but I'm not going to cry anymore." Cecil says, "Rydia." But Edward says, "I don't care. Leave me alone. I'm staying here with Anna. I will never leave her side." But it's going to take a man like Cecil to go slap some sense into the Spoony Bard. "Yeah, take that." Cecil says, "That's enough. You're now the rightful ruler of Damcyan, so start acting like it. You owe it to your people, and you owe it to Anna." "Your Majesty, my name is Cecil, and I need your help." Edward says, "What?" "My friend is suffering from desert fever in Kaipo. I need to get the sand ruby to save her. Can you help me?" Edward says, "What is her name?" Cecil says, "Rosa." Well, Edward thinks about it, and then he says, "She is very dear to you, isn't she? Like Anna was to me." Edward says, "You can find the sand ruby in the Antlion Cave, which lies to the east. The ruby forms from the fluid that the antlion secretes when it lays eggs. We must cross the shallows with our hovercraft to reach the cave. After we acquire the sand ruby, we can cross the shallows to reach Kaipo." Edward says, "Let us be on our way." And so Edward, not wanting Cecil to lose his significant other, agrees to join the party. But before he leaves, he comes back and takes one more look at Anna and says his goodbyes. Alright, so we now have access to the Damcyan hovercraft, which rises from the desert sands. This is going to be a really cool vehicle to have in our possession, because we can ride around and not encounter any monsters. Plus, we can now cross shallows, and the shallows are those tiny dots, or those tiny specks that appear over the ocean. You can cross the shallows with the hovercraft, and if you like, you can actually use the hovercraft to go back to Kaipo and stay at the inn or purchase new items or whatnot. But what we're going to do is head off to the east to the Antlion Cave to see if we can find us a sand ruby to save Rose's life. But before we do that, let's take just a moment here and get out of the hovercraft. Let's go to our menu here. The first thing we definitely want to do is move Edward to the back row. He's very weak and cowardly. Can't stand damage very much. So yeah, he definitely needs to go in the back row. Let's take a look at Edward's starting possessions. He comes pre-equipped with the Dreamer's Harp, which will occasionally put enemies to sleep when it connects. He also has a feathered cap, a bard's tunic, and a ruby ring. And I'm actually going to replace that ruby ring with the iron ring that we found in the underground waterway. He needs all the defense he can get. That will take his defense up from a measly 5 to 7, but it will take his magic defense down 1 point. Okay, real quick, let's go back inside Damcyan Castle. Now, if you like, you can walk around the desert around Damcyan Castle and gain a few levels for Edward. And if you need healing, you can go back up to the 3rd floor and use the healing pots. I believe one will heal your HP, the other one will heal your MP, and I also believe one will remove any status elements that are inflicting your party. But the real reason I came back inside Damcyan Castle is to obtain some hidden treasure. There's actually a hidden room off to the east. What we need to do is just walk around the corner of the castle here on the eastern side. Then we'll head up to the north, and there's the doorway. So let's go inside. This is going to take us to the dungeons of Damcyan. Inside here we have another mortally wounded soldier. He says, "I can't see. Who goes there? Don't let them take the treasure." Oh, don't worry. We'll keep the treasure safe. And the soldier dies and clears the way for us to get the treasure. You can see those 3 treasure chests behind the iron bars there. In order to get them, we want to press this switch on the wall, which opens up this hidden doorway. So let's just go through the door and then head to the west through these 2 secret passageways through the wall. Now we have access to these 2 treasure chests. One contains a crossbow, the other contains a feathered cap. And now we can walk through this wall to obtain this 3rd treasure chest, which contains a ruby ring. But we're not done obtaining treasure yet. There's a staircase off to the southwest here we want to go down. And this will take us to the dungeon basement. And we're going to be able to pick some more treasure chests here. We're going to get a potion out of this chest. There's an antidote, some eye drops. There's some iron arrows. We'll actually get 10 of those. And there's some holy arrows, which will do holy damage. The holy arrows come in very handy against undead monsters, as you'll soon see. There's the gold needle. There's a phoenix down, and there's an ether. There's some more holy arrows, and that's it. So we get quite a bit of treasure down here. Pretty nice. It's going to be good to have that stashed into our inventory. So that is the secret room there. So let's go ahead and exit the castle and get back on our hovercraft and start heading off to the northeast. Here's the shallows we can cross. Let's just go up and around here, and then we'll go down to the south. And we will disembark next to this cave, and this cave is actually going to be the Antlion Cave. And in our next episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy IV Advance, we will explore the Antlion Cave and see if we can find the Sand Ruby. Thank you very much for watching today's episode, everyone. This has been Vortex 259. Have yourself a great day. We'll see you again next time.